Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I don't know how you got here, but I do hope that you'll stay until the end of this video because in this particular video, we are going to work on a condominium studio unit here in the Philippines that I have been commissioned for. And particularly what we're going to do is we're going to do a as-built plan. So we're actually going to go to site right now. Alright, so that was exhausting. Okay, we're back at my studio again, and we're going to start encoding this guy into the computer, and we're going to make our own as-built plans. One thing you should always try to do when you go to site is try to take a bunch of pictures. I myself, even though I feel like I've taken enough sufficient pictures for me to get a grasp of everything that's going on at site, I always find there's this one small tiny freaking area that it's like, if I just had paid more attention to all the pictures I've been taking, I could have had that picture and I could have saved myself a lot of headache and torture. But it happens. So my best advice is just take as many pictures as you can. If you have the memory, just keep taking them. And then if you're, diligent enough, also try to organize your documentation when you take pictures, because a lot of the times pictures tend to go missing when you need them the most. And also when you're when I was on site, so of course I made drawings and then I started measuring things and I started writing things. As you can see, I was quite sweaty. Still wearing the shirt, I smell horrible. And I just have to keep going, But when I start drawing things, I don't try to draw everything perfectly. I just try to get everything down and make sure that I can understand it when I start encoding it. But if you're just going to be the person at site, at least have a bit of decency to provide legible drawings, I guess. easily understandable. Unless you don't like the person that's going to be encoding it, then I guess you can be a bit of a jerk, because I'll admit I've done that a few times myself. But anyway, let's go ahead and start encoding this bad boy. Where am I going to put my document or my drawings? Here we go. So after I finish drawing this, we're going to go ahead and compare this to the original. So the one that was provided by the developers. And it's not to shame them or anything, but it's just to show you the difference between what's been given to you and what you go out to do yourself, you know. And it's probably not going to be that different. But if you watch the previous video, you'll also notice that I did make a few guesses on my that as-built plan, and hopefully those guesses will match up. We'll see what happens. So anyway, let us begin. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to turn on the endpoints, because these are going to be a bit helpful to me. So let's go ahead and start on this side, shall we? 775. Oops. Okay, let's start on this side. My bad. Sorry. 7075. What is going on? Why aren't you working with me, buddy? Ah, oh, fudge. Okay, my bad. I was still in the editing thing. Let's try this one more time. It's going to work this time. 775. There we go. So like I said, I work in millimeters, and we're just going to try to get through this as fast as we can. In fact, why don't I do you guys a favor and just fast forward to this part. Be right back. Okay, so this is the layout of the floor that I measured earlier, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of a discrepancy right here already. So on this side it extended a bit further here, and then on this end it extended a bit further here. The most reasonable reason bit redundant, I'm sorry, but yeah, the most reasonable reason for that is there might be a slant somewhere that I don't know of, or I might have measured something incorrectly. This is one of those points where we just kind of try to figure it out as we go along, and unfortunately this discrepancy is quite large. If we look at it, it is 28 centimeters. In terms of width, and then in terms of depth, it's 13 centimeters, and that's kind of big. When we work on things, we try to keep our range within 3 millimeter discrepancy, which is a very hard thing to do in this field, but we try to do our best to keep it at that at that kind of cushion point. But the show must go on, so let's just try to figure it out while we're going along with this. Like I said, it might not even be your fault. There's chances that there's like one of the walls are slanted or something, at sight that you can't really see just by looking at it, and completely out of your control, so you don't have to stress out about it too much. I remember when I started in the industry, I stressed out about it a lot, and it didn't help me with anything. So here we can kind of see a problem already. 1605. There we go. So we kind of found the problem on one end, and we can go ahead and adjust that already. See? You don't have to freak out about anything. So here we have a how are we gonna do this? Anyway, we have 285. So how many centimeters was it earlier that I said? Bam, 280. So here's where our 280 went. This discrepancy is 285. So we're going to go ahead and put this 285. There we go. And now our discrepancy is only 5 millimeters, which is a big difference. So yeah, like when you come up with errors while you're doing the as-built plan or any plan in particular, don't freak out right away. Just stay calm and try to work through it one step at a time, and eventually you'll figure out what you did wrong. You know, nobody's perfect. It's not about, it's not about trying to be perfect. It's like I always say, if you try to make it perfect on your first run, I'm sorry, I'm sweating, but if you try to make it perfect on your first run, you're just going to get a bunch of mistakes, and it's better to just get all of the mistakes out of the way while you're starting out. Don't be pressured just because your boss is telling you like, that should be perfect on your first try, and it's like, nah, screw that guy. So now we're going to go on this side here to 180. Okay, so we're going to see this bit of space here right above the window. Yep, and that really does exist. So that's why I measured the window separate from the full height of the ceiling, because I want to get that. I wanted to make sure that I got that. So now we got this. We got one wall done. What I'm gonna do here now is I'm actually gonna make this into a group, and we're gonna start putting in some things here. So we're gonna get this column right here, make a group. We're gonna extend this up a bit more actually. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and extend this up to 3,000, so 3 meters. We don't have to worry about this excess because we're not going to be able to even see the excess. It's not inside. So we're going to extend this one about 500. So we have a total of 3.5. All right, and then here, so we're going to see a bit of a difference in the ceiling at this point. And this is kind of this was a really hard thing to measure for me because I'm not quite gifted in terms of height, but it's fine. We'll work through it. Now let's see here. What do we got? 375 plus 120. That's 495. So up 495. Bam. Right there. Okay. And this is going to extend out by 235. Oh, fudge. Don't forget to make group, guys. Or don't forget to make groups, guys. So we'll go ahead and make that into a group and try that again. There we go, 235. So that's kind of why I turned on the endpoints as well, so I could see what's going on. Here we have a depth of 120. So in this particular case, I wasn't able to get this end, but we'll figure it out in a bit. So make that into a group. All right, so that's that side. Next thing we're going to work on is this wall right here. So we still have a discrepancy going on here of 13 centimeters. Not so bad. At least we got rid of the bigger discrepancy, which is more important when you're working with as-built plans. So let's see. Where is this here? Right here. Correct? Incorrect. Right here, yeah. 2185. So let's put 2185 here. Bam. All right. So we have another discrepancy. So you kind of see the imperfections of a rushed building actually when this happens. There are even houses that kind of have high discrepancy, tolerances. But it happens a lot more often in like condominium units, which is why I don't usually trust developer plans that are given to us. Sorry, still sweating. Because of that particular reason, when a building is being rushed, we don't get to, they don't really get the opportunity to like perfect all of the lines and measurements, and that's fine. We don't really, if you're going to push something to be done in a specific time frame at a specific price, then you have to expect what you're going to get, which is sometimes, if you're lucky, it's going to be okay, or at least subpar. If you're unlucky, then who knows. But it's kind of the thing about architecture as well. We don't get to say how much we're going to spend. Even in cases like, for example, Calatrava, even he has some things going on with with the finance. You can research that on your own, but let's go ahead and continue this. Where was I? So that one was 2,185, and then this one is 110. So we'll raise it 100 or 510. Sorry. Fudge. 510. Let me just try that one more time. Okay. There we go. So it goes a bit over. So we have another discrepancy here. We're not going to freak out about it. We're just going to stay calm. Stay calm, relax. Don't worry, guys. Do not worry. That's the last thing you need. When you start worrying, you start stressing, everything just doesn't work out anymore. Now, another thing that I measured was the distances of the outlets and the switches. Now, typically, switches and outlets are about 7 centimeters by 12 centimeters. So I didn't really have to measure how big they are, but you should always keep that in mind. Just for your future references, guys. Remember that 7 centimeters by 12 centimeters. That's the standard size of most outlets and switches. And I'm just gonna make a simple outlet symbol. We'll make that into a group. Close it off in the back. Very nice. Okay, and the height of this is, how high is this one? 250, 25 centimeters. Bam, just like that. So now we have one outlet. Go ahead and push that one over here. We have 2 outlets. So this is how meticulous I am when I make as-built plans. When I was working, or even up to now in my work, they're not this meticulous, but when it's my own project, I like to be as meticulous as possible. And I hope that, in your own personal lives, you share the same passion of being meticulous, even though it might seem crazy to other people. Because what's the point of being an architect if you're not, you know what I mean? It's like you're an architect. You're not a draftsman. You're not a construction worker. You're not, you know what I mean? It's like there's a difference between being a carpenter, and there's a difference between being a carpenter and a woodcutter. You know what I mean? Is it a woodcutter? I don't know. But my point is that if you're a carpenter, your goal is to make sure that everything that you make is, going to end up with a 0-0 measurement. Meaning to say that when you measure something and you cut it, the measurement is still going to be exactly right on the dot. Whereas if you're just like hired to cut the wood, then you're just gonna rush through it. And like I said, you're an architect. If you're not gonna be picky about these things, then why'd you become an architect? Anyway, enough of that. Mm. Where are we now? So now we're gonna go here, I guess. Let's go ahead and try to figure this out. What happened here? So as I said earlier, there's a 5 millimeter discrepancy right here. Now for 5 millimeters, I'm gonna say that's not so bad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and what are we gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and just extend this 5 millimeters right here. 5 millimeters. It's not something to stress about. And I know I said earlier, you know, you want to keep a discrepancy of 3 millimeters, but you know, don't be crazy. Actually, the reason for that is when you construct stairs, a person can actually feel the difference of at, you know, even 2 millimeters. But 3 millimeters is usually the threshold of the average person. So when you take a step on a stair, you kind of like feel the difference of 3 millimeters. But anyway, just a fun fact. Is it true? I'm not quite sure. I don't remember where I read that. Let's continue forward. Just keep on pressing forward, guys. Okay. Let's go ahead and make that into a group. So here we have the door. So, bam. How high is the door? So whenever I measure the door, I don't include the jambs in the header. So when I measure an opening for a door, that's the true rough opening. So that means that when I design something and I make measurements for a door, that isn't accounting for the jambs and the header as well. And I think that's something that some people forget about when they're designing. But you know, just so you know how I feel about it, because when you go on site, like I said, the construction worker just follows the plan based on what the contractor tells them, how the contractor and the supervisor tells them to do it. And the contractor and the supervisor just follow the plans that you give them. So when you say that the door is this big, you don't consider the fact that it also has a jamb. When they make the opening for the door, they don't consider the jambs. So those kind of openings for like the doors and the windows, or we call them rough openings. And yeah, so just something to take note of as well. All right, now what are we going to do next? Let's see here. We also have a panel board here, so I'm going to put this here. The panel board is 250. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, I'm going to make that into a group. We're going to move that up, and its height is 1585. So typically the panel board is usually at a height that is, you know, accessible to the average person. Excuse me. Okay, 1585. All right. So we got that down. We got that down. We got that down. All right, let's keep going, guys. We're almost there. Kind of. I know I keep talking, but you know, this is actually not. This isn't an educational video. This is more of a vlog, sharing my experiences on how I do things. So here we have 2530. Bam, right there. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and push that all the way up to here. Gonna make that into a group. And 2535, that's not, what is this here? Or sorry, 2530. Why did I say 5? 2530, yeah. So I didn't. I typed in the wrong numbers. I just said the wrong. I typed in the right measurement, but I said the wrong numbers. 2535, and there's an additional 130 here. Okay, And the depth of this 130 is 960. Bam, bam, bam. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and push this over here. Okay, and we're gonna make that into a group. Now, actually, right. We're gonna move this in. We're gonna move this over 195 millimeters. Bam, just like that. So now we're gonna take this line, raise it up a bit. So as you can see, it's when you make as-built plans, it's also a lot more complicated. And you'll see here we have do we have a discrepancy? Yeah, we have a discrepancy of 1 inch. Damn, that's horrible. Keep in mind that these are all true measurements. That means as the building was being constructed, they didn't really consider, like, it's most likely, I've witnessed this many times throughout my career. Construction workers, like I said, they're usually just being rushed all the time. So it's not really fair to judge them on their work based on these kind of things, because we don't know the true potential of the work. If, you know, like I said, if you're always being rushed to do something, then you can expect that it's gonna, you should know what to expect. That's why I, as much as possible, I hate being rushed, so I don't take projects that rush me. The only time that I, allow myself to be rushed is if it's like at my job, which is, I'm committed to my job because they give me, I find it stable. But on my own sideline projects, I don't like to rush because I don't want to make too many errors. So anyway, like I was saying, most likely the construction workers were being rushed, and instead of leveling the ceiling, making sure that it was aligned and everything, they might have just, based it, on their own visual senses, and they saw that it looked straight, so they just kept it that way. But anyway, let's keep going forward. Let's go forward. So here on the other side, we have some switches as well. So let's go ahead and take one of these. Go ahead and copy it. And we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. And we're going to move it over here on the other side. Bam, we'll just put it right there. So we have a switch. Now I didn't label all of these switches, but I did take pictures of all the switches. Or I didn't label all of these outlets and switches, but I did take pictures of them. So hopefully those will be enough of a reference for me to figure out what I'm doing when I start designing the unit again. This is another reason why I didn't want to use the developer's plans, because I'm just going to end up redoing everything anyway, and it's just going to be like a waste of energy. But it's not really a big deal, since I wasn't doing anything else for the client at the moment. So and it's not like I totally invested in the last as-built plan that I made. Okay, so we have 2 outlets here. And then we have another one for the air conditioner up there. So this one is at 1505. Okay, let's go ahead and take one of these, move it up 1505, and then here on the wall we have a hole for the air conditioner. So we're gonna measure this up 1665. 1665, bam, right there. And then the length of this is 640, and the height of this is 465. Bam. So I think my original measurement of that, my guess measurement of that, is not the same. I'm pretty sure I made a smaller hole. Okay, next. 2290. So here we have 640 at the end. And so this is the longest measurement that I made actually. From here to here. So this might have this might be where I got my discrepancy from. The discrepancy though is quite large. 13 centimeters. That's 4 inches, man. I know it sounds small, but if you're a guy, you'd get it. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, so like I said, this is the longest measurement I made. When you usually make longer measurements, you have a higher chance of getting a mistake, which is why I usually like to break it down as much as possible. But there wasn't anything else in between this point to this point, so there's a possibility that this is where my discrepancy came in. And for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and say that's the reason that it didn't match up. We're going to go ahead and move that up here. Is that a good thing to do? Not really. I don't like doing that, but you know, we have to come up with the most logical reason as to why it's not matching up, which is that's it. Here, 550, so that's like the exact size for a refrigerator. What else are we gonna do here? Let's go ahead and figure this out now. So the depth of this is 620. I didn't really measure the counter, the exact counter, so we're not gonna bother with that. But I did measure the window. So since we're going to already say that that's the actual true length, I'm going to have to extend that wall now. And I'm going to take one of these outlets again. Go ahead and copy that over here. Bring it down to the ground, all the way down. We're going to raise that. How high is it on this side? 250. 250, and it's 150 away from the counter. So with this, we kind of can assume already the certain function of certain outlets. Why am I being so redundant today? So we know that this one is for the air conditioner, and we know that this one is for the refrigerator. We can see that because, you know, that's obviously where they want us to put those things. And you know, we can move them around in construction, but it all still depends on what the client wants to do. What happened here? What happened here? Wait a minute. One moment, guys. Oh, that's right, because I moved the whatchamacallit, the one side. So this is 13, yeah. Bam. All right, figured it out. Let's go ahead and move this back here. Bam. Okay, we have that. We have an outlet there. Now for the window. Where is the window? The height of the window is at 1,700. Okay. What's the size of our window here? Let's go ahead and go in here. 1,700. And then, oh my goodness, don't tell me. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm just an idiot. I didn't get the width of the window. Oh my goodness. I was pretty sure I got that width of that window. Man. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the same size as the counter. Ugh, I'm so disappointed in myself. I got the height of the window written down here, but I didn't get the width of the window. Like I said, we're human. but I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere around the same size as the counter. Makes it seem kind of big, but we're gonna have to just review the pictures on that one. Important thing is I know that there's a window here, so whatever. I'm disappointed with myself. Well, it just goes to show you, I'm not perfect either, guys. I'm just a guy. All right. Disappointment. Disappointed in myself. Okay, so there we go on that one. And we know that we have here 2290, so we're gonna make a square here. Bam. And we're gonna raise that 2290. Bam. So that's that right there. Make that into a group. So I didn't bother getting this, the comfort room, the restroom, the toilet and bath, whichever terminology you want to use. For some reason, there's so many freaking different terminologies, but yeah, I didn't get it because I'm not going to be working on that anytime soon for now. So that's going to be a whole separate entity if ever. But yeah, so this is our condo unit for the most part. How high is this door again? 220. 2,200, right? 2,200, yeah, that's right. Oh, no, 2,200. There we go. Gonna make this wall right here. Did I make that into a block? Yeah, okay. Make that into a group. So there's that. There's our main door. We have everything else. Okay, we have our air conditioner hole. The ceiling is a bit complicated, so we'll do that next time. But then we also have the difference here, this discrepancy. Freaking 1 inch, man. That's a lot. What about here? What's our discrepancy? We have a discrepancy here of 20, so 2 centimeters. That's not so bad. What's the maximum height of this wall? 2695. What about this wall? 2660. Damn. So there's a lot of discrepancies. Remember, these are all actual measurements. We have a light switch here also, so let's go ahead and grab one of these guys again. Pull this over here. Ba-bam. Q90. Ba-bam. Q. The wall. Rotate 90. Bam. What's the height of this guy? 1,295. So that's usually the standard height of switches, around 1.2 to 1.3 meters. So, and that's on center actually. So this one is actually a bit higher than the standard. And then it's off the wall by 60. So the reason it's off the wall by 60 is most likely because here in the center we have a thickness of around 100. Yeah. So the wire is just like running right here along the center, but there's a wall thickness behind it, so that's why they put it here on this end. And that's another thing that most people tend to forget when they're designing things, that there's wall thicknesses in corners as well, so it's kind of hard to put wires through that, but just keep it in mind. We have a switch here as well. This one is actually quite low for some reason. I don't know why. The height switch of this one is 945, much lower. Bam. For some reason, it's really close to the door. So, all right, we have more outlets on this end. This one 545. So let's take one of these guys. Oops. Go ahead and pull one over here. Over 545, good. Move it down some. I usually like to use the ground as the reference point, so we're gonna raise this by 850, and then we're gonna raise it by another 150. 850, 150. So this one is above the counter. I'm pretty sure we have another outlet here, which I have in the picture, so I'm not really going to pay attention to that right now. And then I am also pretty sure that we have, what else here? So we have 2 of those. Bam. And I'm also sure that we have a hose bib here for a hose, obviously. Which I'm also going to use as a reference, or I'm going to use the picture as the reference. What else we got going on? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We got all the major beats here. Not going to do the reflected ceiling plan right now. That one's a bit complicated. Let's see. 420. Let's work on this one here. Push this one here. Then it goes in 420. And it goes all the way over here, so we're going to close that off right there. Bam. Okay, and then what else? Ceiling 960. So this is 960, huh? We'll move this 960. 960. Close that off. Bam, just like that. And if we have that there, we also have this here on the other side. So let's go here. Bam, bam. Delete that line. This one, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how far it goes here, but I was too short to measure it, but I'm going to say it's about 1,000. And that actually goes all the way to the end here. But since we're not quite certain which one we're going to use as our final measurement, since these two don't add up, I'll work on that next time. And there you have it. The as-built plan from what we did at the site. Let me go ahead and pull up the other one. Give me one moment here. Let's see, this just has to load. Oops. Okay. And let's copy that one here on our new plan. Bam! Let's put it right there. And let's go ahead and rotate it so they're both facing the same direction. 180. And let's align this wall here to this wall there. Okay, let's go ahead and see how this looks. So here, you can already see the discrepancy, guys. Bam. What the hell is that? Does that look like it matches to you? Well, there's a beam there, so let's go ahead and pretend that, you know. Well, even with that, it doesn't match. What the hell? This one almost matches. I'm pretty sure I did this correctly. There's no way I really made a mistake there. Let's try moving this here. So I'm just going to show you guys the difference. The difference with what they gave us and what I found to be true. Let's move this by 10,000. Yeah. All right. So we have that there. Oh, let's also align the floor right there, right to the floor. Align this one also. Whoops. got the switch there. There we go. We're gonna align the floor again. Right there. Okay. Okay. So these are that. So this is wall. Okay. So obviously that wall. Oh no, it didn't match. Look at that discrepancy. I keep using the word discrepancy. I'm sorry. That's the word of the day, discrepancy. That didn't match. Let's see here. Let's look at this one. Ooh, that one almost matched, but not quite. How about you, guy? Let's see what you got. Come on. Nope. Oof. Is it right on the nose? Is it right on the nose? Oh my gosh, I think we got one right on the nose. Nice, nice, nice. What about here on this side? Let me see this one. Oh, fudge, sorry. Let's go ahead and line these here. Bam. That way we can get a better idea. Didn't quite match up there. Move this one up. This is the biggest difference, actually. This is huge right here. If this is 13 centimeters. If this is 13 centimeters. Oh, it's almost 13 centimeters. 13 centimeters. So does that mean that maybe... It's actually 12.5 centimeters. I forgot that, if you're wondering. 12.5 centimeters. So if you remember earlier, I was making a big deal about the 13 centimeters. So this distance right here is actually 12.5. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like go in the middle, because I'm pretty sure about the measurements I made here on this side, because I have a break. I have from this outlet here to this, from the wall to the edge of this outlet, and then the edge of this outlet to edge of this outlet. So there's a breaking point here, and that means this is kind of a bit more sure. So I'm probably just gonna go like stretch it out 6 centimeters. Here on this side, we're kind of off by a bit, just a bit. Bam. So we have a bit of a difference there. 5. What about you? And this one, oh, we're actually quite aligned. Okay, okay, okay. Good, 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 good. That's good. So we have a bit of a discrepancy here. What about this one? Okay. What about the windows? Did I get the windows correct? Oops. So here I assumed it was like 900, I believe. So what is it? So there's a difference of 5. Okay, okay, okay. What about here for this window? This, I assume it's the same as the counter, so it's, this one is 1040. The window I have here is 1150. So that's a bit of a difference. Not so much of a difference. Okay, so we got some good matches here. Not so bad, not so bad. Well, alright guys, I'm gonna end this video here. We got the as-built plan, we know where everything is now. Let me check this air conditioner first. How much did I get it? What's the difference? What's my guess here? Oof, off by 16 centimeters. And then here, I guessed it to be 500 by 700. How much the actual? It's 465 by 640, so it's actually smaller. Not bad, not bad. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys learned something. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun. So, until next time, take care. Hope we can always better ourselves. And bye-bye.